All right, so today we are going to go through quadratic functions, and we're going to do everything now in standard form. So previously we did vertex form, and now we're going to do standard form where you see it like this. So you'll have an A value, a B value, and a C value. Once we start doing examples, you'll see it. So I'm going to write the formulas out on this first page, and then we'll do a couple examples. So to find the vertex in this one, it's not as simple, but what you're going to do is you're going to take negative b over 2 times a. I'm going to rewrite that so you can see it a little bit better. Opposite of b, or negative b, over 2 times a, and then you're going to plug it in to find the other part of it. Your axis of symmetry is still going to be x equals that value. Your x-intercepts are going to be if you plug 0 in for y. And there are generally 2 of them. So a lot of times you'll have 2 different numbers here. So these will be your x-intercepts will be values here. And then your y-intercept will be if you plug 0 in for x, and you'll get a value for this side. So if we do this example here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I highlighted as green at the top. So we look for the number that's in front of the x squared is always the a. If there's no number but you have an x squared, there's that invisible 1. So my a value is 1. My b value is what is in front of your x squared, which is in front of your x, which is a negative 6. And your c value is the number that's all by itself, 8. So here is my a, my b, and my c. And you can see up here at the top also, I have my a that is attached to your x squared. I have my b that is attached to your x, and then you have your c, which is all by itself. So I'm going to blow this up here. So this is telling me now to find the vertex, I'm going to do the opposite of my b over 2 times my a. So if my b is a negative 6 up here, I'm going to say a positive 6 over 2 times my a value is 1. So I'm going to have 6 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. If you need to pause the video and write any of this, please feel free to do that. So this is now what my x value is on my vertex. So I'm going to put that value also right here. So that's the x side of my vertex. So I need to plug that back in to my original equation, which I have written here, and I put the parentheses where there was an x. So we're going to put a 3 here and a 3 here because of this 3. You're going to plug this into the calculator. So you're going to do parentheses 3 squared minus 6 parentheses 3 plus 8. When you plug that into the calculator, so take a moment, pause the video, plug it in, and you will get negative 1. So I now have my vertex. And there's pros and cons of having the vertex form, which we did all last week, and the standard form. So now my axis of symmetry is still x equals 3. You can remember whatever we have there is what we have here. To figure out my y-intercepts, we're going to jump down. My y-intercept, if I plug in, let me see if I can pull this over real quick and pull up Google Classroom. and I'm going to pull up the Desmos calculator. Oh, where did it go? There we go. So if we plug in our original equation, hold on. Let me see here. It's not coming up as nicely as I would like it to. Give me 1 second. Oh, I see. There we go. Y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. So I have that, my graph here. So once you have graphed it, your x-intercepts are where it crosses the x-axis. So these 2 points here are my x-axis. So I have a 2, 0, and a 4, 0 based on these 2 points right here. My y-intercept, you can see on your graph here, is 0, 8. So that's when the first number is 0 and the second number is 8. So based on, now I'm going to make this larger, based on those 4 points that we have our vertex, and we have these 2, and this, so we have 4 points. We're going to be able to graph it. 3, negative 1, 2, 0, 4, 0, and 0, 8. So those 4 points, you are able to graph that you have a U here. So this is just gathering different information from your equation. So if you need to pause the video to get any of that, and then we're going to move forward onto the inside. We just have 3 examples we're going to do together. So here, identify your A, B, and C. So A is in front of your x squared, so that would be a negative 1. B is in front of your x, negative 2. And C is all by itself, 8. So to find my vertex right here, I'm going to do the opposite of my B. So the opposite of negative 2 is a positive 2 over 2 times my A, which is a negative 1. 2 over negative 2 equals a negative 1. So that is the first part of my vertex. The x equals a negative 1, and we know our axis of symmetry equals negative 1. We now take that negative 1 and we plug it in our parentheses right below here. So I have this equation. I'm going to take that equation and plug it into my calculator. And once I plug it into my calculator, I should get negative 1 plus 2 is, I should get 9. So again, I plugged all of this exactly how I see it into my calculator, and you should get 9. I now want to take my original equation up here and put this into Desmos. So I'm going to do a split screen here for you. I'm going to X out my last one, and I'm going to put y equals negative x squared minus 2x plus 8. From there, I can see my vertex, my y-intercept right here, because it's crossing the y-axis, and I have a value for the y. So that's an 8. And then I have my 2 x-intercepts, -4 and 2. So from there, I'm going to erase these highlights that I have here. I'm able to graph my vertex, -1, 9. Actually, I'm probably not able. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would be all the way up here. I have a -4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is right here. I have a 2, 0, +2, 0, and I have a 0, 0, 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right here. However, this was my vertex and my axis of symmetry goes down that way. So it's going to be here and here. If you need to pause the video, please do so. And then we'll go on to the next one here. So here again, I have my A, I have my B, and I have my C. So from here, I want you to take a moment, pause the video, and get all of those values. So for your vertex, X should have equaled a 1. So I plug in that 1. And once you plug that in, you should have gotten an 8. So 1, 8 is my vertex. Oops. When you plug this into Desmos, sorry, this should have been -2, 4, and 6. Plug this into Desmos, and you will get -1 and 3 for your x-intercepts, and your y-intercept should be 0, 6. So make sure you are plugging that in on Desmos. Desmos will give you all of the answers to do this. So take the time and do that. Right here, we have our A, we have our B, and we have our C. From here, determine your vertex on your own, plug it in, and get an answer for here, then plug it in here. So pause the video and do that. Your vertex at the end should be a 2, -9. Your axis of symmetry should be x equals 2. Take a moment, plug your original equation right here into Desmos. Once you do that, you should get a -1, 0, and 5, 0, and your y-intercept should be 0, -5. So when you go to graph that, 2, -9 would be down here, -1, 0, based on your x-intercept, 5, 0, 0, -5. So you have those points to graph from. Please make sure that you are working on this and ask questions if you have them. Please feel free to email me.